This is in my in the ravine behind our house. There's a place where a spring runs through, and it's cut, you know, into the hill there over the years. And it's called Sanctuary, and I'm emulating a church pew and window, but setting it in this beautiful, quiet spot with surrounded by trees. This is Henry David Thoreau's house. It's the same dimensions as the house that he built at Walden Pond, with the same furniture that he describes inside his cot, and 3 mismatched chairs and a writing desk. I want to say something about the process of making work, because I think that thought has occurred to me in the making of Rise Up Winston-Salem. When I'm alone in my studio working, in this case a series of drawings I was doing for part of the installation at the Turchin Center in Boone, I was doing a series of drawings and to be included in that installation. And when I'm in the process of doing that, I'm putting marks and putting images down on paper, covering them up somewhat, exposing them, erasing them, adding more. I'm very much in the work, kind of. I'm thinking about the concepts that I'm working with, but I'm also, I use the word thinking loosely, because I'm not sure if that's exactly what an artist is doing when they're in the process of making something. There's something else going on in addition to thinking. There's emotions and memories and just lots of different things happening. And it's often said by psychologists that in that state, time doesn't exist. And that's true. It's, you can get sort of just immersed in the work. And then to complete this installation, I wanted to build a tree around this column in the middle of the room. And once again, I'm in the middle of the work, handling the materials, figuring out how to put them together, and how to arrange the work in the installation space. But it's more or less myself alone, although my wife Glenda back here, who I didn't introduce, but who has been helping with supplying some of the names that I'm forgetting, she helped me dry the leaves and get them to a state where they kind of slightly crumpled by putting them in a dryer and then hauling them up there and spreading them out so that they wouldn't just lay flat on the floor. So, you know, other people do get involved sometimes, you know, when I'm working individually as an artist. It still is, you know, mostly the individual artist involved in the process of making the work.
Where is this?
That's also at the Turchin Center now. That exhibit is up until, I think it's April 20, like that. We were just there for an opening event for several exhibitions that they were opening last night, and it was a good evening. It's a good place to go visit. I encourage everybody. It's right on Main Street, downtown Boone. It's a nice place to go anyway. So, to Rise Up Winston-Salem. This was a sketch that I did. We came to look at Old Salem and walked around, looked at some of the possible sites. Everybody, including myself, thought the Tavern Meadow just looked like, you know, no reason not to put it here. It just seemed so perfect. And I couldn't help but notice, you know, of course, the architecture is, you know, mostly what Old Salem is about. You know, it's this collection of buildings, first of all. And a lot of them are this kind of house structure kind of form. And we realized that the Tavern Meadow sort of looks like an empty space. And so if you going to put a structure in there, what would be more logical than another house form? And house forms have been important to me in my work because I've seen them as the other side of the balance from the idea of ladders. Ladders are about extending, reaching out, going a little bit further, trying something that is a little challenging. In lots of different ways we use the ladder metaphor, it's about that, reaching to the unknown too. But houses are about safety and security. That's what we have them for. That's the associations we often have with them. And so those two kind of forces are what our lives are really all about. So that also kind of, I think, helps me understand why the house form seems to work well with ladders. But right away, we discovered that, so if we were going to say to the community of Winston-Salem, well, here's my standard sales pitch, okay. Ladders of all types and sizes and conditions, lent by individuals and organizations from across the broad spectrum of this diverse community, tied together, holding each other up. They could be seen as a metaphor for a healthy, mutually supportive community. That metaphor that is not possible without your help, without the public art is impossible. Could you please loan us a ladder till April 12? That's my sales pitch when I go up to the door. And I realized that I'm no longer the artist in the middle of the work. Now it depends on that person identifying with that thought and then saying, I'd like to be part of that. And then the work can be possible. And so I don't have control over my materials. I have to convince other people to lend me the materials and trust that I will use them in a way that they will enjoy and that they'll get them back so that they can wash their windows and clean out their eaves, when the exhibition is over. And to convince a community of that is not an immediate, easy task. It takes some work by lots of organizations sending out newsletters. Old Salem did it, SECCA, tapped into whatever ones they could, the Arts Council, the Associated Artists downtown. I talked to them, it went out on their newsletters. We tried to get it into any kind of media that we could so that the word got out there. So that by the time I started to go knocking on doors, I was encountering lots of people that said, oh yeah, I heard about this. Are you the artist? I said, yes, here's my sales pitch. And I would try to help them see how they might want to be part of that, whether they were a business or an organization or individuals or families or whatever. So this was one of the first days of collecting ladders at Old Salem at the warehouse. And a few ladders trickled in. It was encouraging, though. The mayor's ladder was the first one. And he very willingly brought that ladder and told the ladder story with it. And even though the numbers weren't great, I thought, if we got the community's mayor, somehow this is going to work. The weather was not too bad that weekend. There's a few of the ladders that came in. You're thinking, we'd like to have 100 or more, and you see that, and you think, okay, we got work to do. I don't know if we can see this. In SECCA's meeting room, around the staff meeting table, on the wall, there was a ladder drawn, and the bottom, like 2 or 3 rungs were filled in. That was, I think, they told me at a staff meeting a couple of weeks ago. This is where we are now. Well, today we're over the top, so it helped to use a little organizational motivation chart, I think. This is my motel room table with lists of people that I had contacted, called, and made appointments with, my map of Winston-Salem, my little sketch brochure that I used to give to people to help explain what it was we would like to do.